The industry changes which are approaching are really making this a critical year for data collection, and brands need to ensure they're giving consumers a good enough reason to authenticate and exchange their own information. So we need to maintain a people-first lens and ensure a healthy value exchange between publishers and consumers. With the deprecation of cookies, brands also need to have a comprehensive understanding of what data is truly mission critical to sustain their marketing and business activities. If brands don't have an easy way to figure this out, they should be working with their agency partners.
I couldn't agree more with Justin. We're at an inflection point, I think, as an industry, whether you agree with the way in which Google and Apple are implementing some of these controls. I think you, as an industry, broadly agree that the sentiment is correct. We need to do more to allow consumers to understand that very specific data value equation or exchange.
Some of the questions that publishers and brands should be asking are my data collection processes truly prepared for these upcoming industry changes? How do I ensure that I'm capturing all relevant data about my customers and prospects, which are truly mission critical for my business? And am I being privacy compliant?
At Verizon Media, we have a notion of consumer first, exactly what Justin referred to on the brand side, we take on board as a publisher. And what that means is that we need to empower and basically educate in a good way consumers as to the data value equation. Like what are they getting in return for giving up data, right? For targeting, attribution, etc. And at Verizon Media, I think we have two really big advantages. The first is we're a massive publisher. We're one of the biggest publishers of trusted content on the web. And we're also one of the biggest email providers. So that implicitly means we have a direct one-to-one consent-based relationship with consumers. So we have permission to enter into that conversation and clearly articulate what the value equation is in terms of data in, data out. And the second is we're not just a DSP, we have an SSP as well with a full stack. So when Justin talked about responsibility, checks and balances around the data flow, guess what? We look at the entire transaction, right? From the demand side through to the supply side, through to our own owned and operated properties. But there is clearly a way that we are able to manage that consent and the way in which data flows through the ecosystem. I would gently push back at other solutions, right? You hear often about federated or syndicated or industry-wide solutions where the data from consumer is garnered from a publisher, but then flows to every ad tech vendor in the ecosystem. And I think that poses certain challenges.